Everybody, good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for hopping on the Thursday edition of our weekly update. We have a very, very special guest to join us today. None other than one of the biggest and best champions for the industry, Congressman Andy Barr. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out of your schedule to jump on with us today.
Brian, it's great to be with you and great to be with all the hemp industry leaders.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Well, I know that you have been diligently working on a bill that you'll be releasing soon enough. Is there anything you want to touch on that before we dive into questions?
Yeah, I want to just thank Hifa for the feedback. We recognize that there's a tremendous opportunity in agriculture, in farming, and in this industry generally. I come from Central Kentucky. All four of my grandparents were born and raised in Central Kentucky. I was raised in Central Kentucky. And once upon a time, that was the burley tobacco capital of the world. Since the decline in tobacco production, our farmers have been looking for alternatives. And industrial hemp and hemp-derived products has created a huge marketplace and tremendous opportunity. And in this consumer marketplace, this has created some choices for consumers, and I look forward to working with the industry to provide some stability and certainty so that this industry can be viewed properly as a mature industry so that there'll be some durability to the law and decrease the uncertainty that currently exists so that this marketplace can thrive.
Awesome. Well, that is great. Thank you so much, sir. We have some folks that have submitted questions in advance. And those of you that want to ask something, feel free to type it in and we might be able to get to it. I know the congressman does have to jump and get over to do some voting. But let me dive right into it with the very first question from none other than one of your Kentucky farmers, Abram Phillips. He says on a given harvest, the average farmer may have to destroy 5 to 15% of their crops. How does your new bill provide extra protections and stability for farmers and their families?
Well, it creates a regulatory and tax framework, if enacted into law, which would provide a lifeline and a legal pathway, and a durable legal pathway for this marketplace. And right now, obviously, starting in November, there would be a federal prohibition of a lot of the hemp-derived products here, which would jeopardize the existing crop that is, in storage right now, and certainly future opportunities to cultivate this crop. So that's why we need this legislation to establish a regulatory framework and create a level playing field with other similar products, especially in the drink category. We want to create kind of a level playing field with other adult beverages, so that again, farmers will have certainty that they can sell into a mature marketplace with protections that achieves both what we wanted to achieve for safety, for targeting age-appropriate consumers, but also helping our farmers all the way through.
That is awesome. That is great, sir. Next question we have, it comes from Mike D of FM Labs. There has been a lot of talk about making sure that children cannot get access to consumable hemp products. As an ingredient manufacturer, I want to ensure that as well. How does your bill address those concerns?
Yeah, we want to make sure that we don't let a few bad apples spoil the whole bunch, so to speak, and give a black eye to a legitimate, responsible manufacturers, producers, et cetera. And I think it's very important that the industry self-police in the same way that, say, the alcohol beverage or distilled spirits industry and the malt beverage industry, they have to do the same thing. And so, providing that level playing field in terms of gatekeeping and keeping these products, which are euphoria inducing or behavior altering, make sure that they are focused on the right audience, which is the adult audience, and make sure we protect our kids. I think that will give legitimacy and, again, as I say, certainty for this industry, and make sure that it has a reputation for integrity and for responsible marketing, and making sure that, again, we don't have critics who can gain any traction.
Awesome. Next question from a veteran named Brian Dombrowski. I am a veteran, and my brothers and sisters rely on having access to consumable hemp products to help us with healthier alternatives to opioids and SSRIs. Will your bill be able to ensure me and thousands of veterans across the country will have access to these products?
Short answer is yes. And to the extent we can promote opioid alternatives or opioid avoidance and help veterans with anxiety or sleep deprivation or insomnia or post-traumatic stress, that's exactly what we want to do, is to create those options for our veterans to take care of them. We think this is a great option for our veteran community.
Awesome. Next question, sir, from Justin Ashby of Southern Crown. Congressman Barr, how does your bill ensure that hemp-derived products are regulated in a way that protects consumers while also preserving the integrity of the existing alcohol three-tier system?
Well, we want to, again, the goal would be, and we recognize that distilled spirits and other adult beverage groups don't want competition. That's natural. But what we want is regulation and tax, same. We want a level playing field. Competition and choice is something I believe in. And giving consumers choices, competition's a good thing. You're looking at one of the most adamant defenders of the bourbon industry. I'm co-chairman of the Congressional Bourbon Caucus. I don't think you have to choose. I think you can be an advocate of both hemp products and Kentucky bourbon. So the issue is a level playing field. And so that level playing field involves a couple of things: a federal default on three-tier, but opportunities, just like in distilled spirits and in other products, to go to state legislatures and advocate for direct to consumer. That's what we have in Kentucky. And by the way, you have an ally actually in the bourbon industry. Wholesalers, distributors obviously are very powerful defenders of three-tier. They have their arguments. There's also good reasons for distilleries and the wine country in Napa, Sonoma, and other craft breweries to promote this direct consumer concept, and they've done it, and they've worked through the states. This industry should be no different. Everyone should be on the level playing field and have that opportunity to go have a default three-tier system, but then go to legislatures around the state and have that direct to consumer effort where it makes sense.
Great. Another question, sir. How have you worked out a tax rate that is fair for the industry in regard to other intoxicating beverages, but does not make the total cost too high for the consumer? This comes from John Halper.
Well, we are trying to thread the needle and strike the right balance here. Again, my North Star on all this is same level playing field. No one industry should have a unique special competitive advantage based on the law. It should be a level playing field. Now, admittedly, these are different products, and so it is a little bit like comparing apples to oranges. Some would say that the hemp-derived products are intoxicating. Others would say, no, that's not actually accurate. It's a euphoric. It's a euphoric product. Whatever you may however you may describe it, there is obviously differences But we are trying to work within this concept of a tax framework that would resemble kind of a level playing field, and we're doing the best we can in trying to do that. There have been some who have advocated for no tax, and some have advocated for very punitive and confiscatory tax. We don't think that either is appropriate. We think it should be, again, something that puts hemp-derived products on a level playing field based on, you know, the level of behavior altering or the milligram of product. So what we want to do is come to a sensible middle ground on that. And I have said, you know, ultimately our goal is to make law here, not just to introduce a bill. And I think that this tax component is a really important piece of it. And regardless of where you come down on, oh, this is a little bit too much or a little bit too little, I want the industry to understand that this is a really important component to the legislation, because it gives us, I think, a hook into a reconciliation bill or legislation that could move. I've shared with the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith, hey, there is an industry out there that actually wants to be taxed and could be used as a pay-for in a reconciliation bill. That's an important argument to make, because it gives us, I think, an opportunity to actually move the legislation.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
Brian, I would love to ask this one by Randy, because it gets to our next question. Representative Barr, Randy Jackson writes, Representative Barr, are there any particular opponents to your bill that we can focus an education campaign on, either in the government or in the industry or other organizations?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the wholesalers want a three-tier system. So we have worked to try to achieve that with, again, level playing field, where you would have exceptions for direct to consumer where it would make sense on a state-by-state level. But you need to know where the wholesalers, both the beer and the spirits wholesalers, are. They actually support the industry because they want to distribute it.
Yep.
Okay, so they're an ally, but they're also, you have to understand where they're coming from on three-tier. Distilled spirits, similar situation. You do need to understand that there's a understandable concern about competition from their perspective, but on the flip side, they do share this direct-to-consumer desire, and so from that standpoint, could be kind of an ally here. And I'm talking about distilleries, who in Kentucky, the bourbon industry is a tourism industry, just like it is in Napa Sonoma with wine. And when visitors from around the country, around the world come, they want to actually those distilleries want to be able to sell direct to consumers. So kind of understand where they're coming from. Then you have the prohibitionists, and they're just there, and they may not be persuadable, but they exist, and you all have to reckon with that. And the education campaign, I think, for them is very important on safety, and talking about what we do in terms of authorizing FDA oversight and regulation, putting into place regulations that don't exist right now, keeping out bad actors, making sure that foreign producers are not contaminating the market, so to speak, making sure that there are safety standards and protecting kids. I think those are the arguments that you need to make there. I do believe there's also a safety study that is embedded in the legislation too. So be aware of that. And then finally, there's another category out there, and that's the marijuana industry that views this as competition as well. Be aware that there are some groups that will try to push.
Clear.
Hang on just a second, sorry. That they will want to push the industry into specialized dispensaries. My view is that that is not a level playing field. Maybe that's appropriate for the marijuana industry, but I don't believe that's appropriate for this hemp-derived product industry.
Awesome. Well, thank
Again,
you.
a goal being safety, integrity, durable law, the ability to promote a long runway where there's certainty and stability in the industry for the farmers and the producers and the manufacturers, protections for kids, but creating a vibrant marketplace here. All of that, those are the goals, and level playing field.
That is great. Well, thank you very much, sir. We really do appreciate your time and you coming on to give us a briefing on what is to come in this bill. Do you have any closing thoughts or recommendations to everyone on how we can be of service and help you with this once the bill comes out?
Yeah, I just look, first of all, Jack on my staff has done a great job. He's getting incoming from a lot of different interests. Not everybody is on the same page on every provision, but give us the feedback as you see the bill when it's ultimately introduced. If there's technical feedback, some details that need to be adjusted. No pride in authorship here. We want to get it right so that it works and so that we can. This is not just a messaging exercise, it's a lawmaking exercise where we can actually get it done. And so it's really important to understand all of these tensions and the different interests that are out there. So we do need your feedback and we need your advocacy on the Hill to actually move the bill. The Committee of Jurisdiction is going to be largely Energy and Commerce. The tax component is Ways and Means. So it's really important to engage those members on both sides of the aisle, and in a bicameral effort too. We need help in the Senate on this. But I do think this hook of revenue, an industry that actually wants to be treated the same as other mature industries, actually gives us a chance to say hey, let's move this bill and we can help provide a pay for where we really will need one.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, sir. We really appreciate your time. And we look forward to seeing you as move up in office, maybe. We love you. You've been a great champion for this industry, and we would love to see you represent us in the Senate as well, sir.
Thank you all very much, Brian. Appreciate it. Thanks for the Zoom call, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Congressman. Enjoy votes.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking on. We're gonna continue to answer some questions, but I do want to drop into the chat right now ways that you guys can be helpful for the congressman. He's got a race that's coming up right now, and any last minute contributions that folks can make to Congressman Barr would be greatly appreciated. And we absolutely need more champions, and he will be our best champion in the Senate representing us and the interests of this industry. So that being said, before we dive into questions, I'm going to quickly turn the floor over to one of the Hifa board members, Mr. David Charles. David.
Hey, Brian, thanks. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Dwayne, for setting this up. Guys, here today to ask you for money. You heard the congressman and soon to be senator. One of the things that is needed to drive this forward is advocacy on the Hill. And that ain't cheap, right? Lobbyists need to pay for, a food and roof over their heads, and they've got families to support, and we need to advocate. So this is a race that reality of politics is that it costs money. You look at what some of our friends over in the marijuana industry have done and the kind of cash that they've deployed. You look over at some of the folks in the liquor industry and the kind of cash that they deploy. If hemp wants a seat at the table, we need to all show up. We need to all support efforts to get the messaging out there and to support education, to mobilize grassroots. It all costs money. Please, whoever you are, whether you are a big business and you can afford to spend tens of thousands of dollars a month towards contributing Hifa so that we can put that money to work, or if you are, a one-door retail store that can, afford $500 a month. Now is the time to vote with your dollars. If you want to have an industry in 6 months, much less, 60 years from now. Now is the make or break moment. So please do not stand by idly. Every dollar counts. I cannot stress that enough. This is it's an expensive campaign to be running. We're all supporting it. We're all taking money out of our own pockets to put it towards this because we believe in the cause. And we also believe in the track record of Hifa. We've been very privileged to be able to partner closely with soon-to-be Senator Barr's office over the last several months, and we plan to continue doing that. We plan to continue nurturing relationships with other members. So please, this is the right place for you. If you're here listening, please vote with your dollars. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. I just dropped into the chat the contribution links for Congressman Barr, for Hifa. And if you want to become a more consistent giver and board member, you can shoot me an email and we can set up a time to chat with myself, David, and a few of the other CEOs to answer any of the questions you all might have. So that being said, why don't we just kind of dive into some more questions, Dwayne, and also let's just kind of give everyone a little bit of a lay of the land right now where we are at federally. As you all heard from Congressman Barr, they're making a few little adjustments and tweaks to the bill that they've been diligently working on. Jack from his team has been absolutely phenomenal to work with, and they have had an open door to everybody in the industry that has an interest. So that being said, we know Congressman Barr's bill is going to be coming in short order. I would anticipate probably within the next week, we're going to see it. As you guys heard him discuss about 3-tier, that was a recent tweak that was made, I believe, to what is going to be forthcoming in the bill. And that was something to ease the concerns of our friends on the alcohol side of the industry. So that being said, Dwayne, why don't you just give us a quick rundown on what's to come next?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know we've got a couple questions where what will this bill do? When's it going to get enacted? How many co-sponsors does it have? One, thank you guys, for having the passion to want to know not only what's going on, but how you can help. Now, you heard the congressman kind of mention a couple steps. Once this bill is introduced, it has a lot of jurisdictions, mainly energy and commerce, that tax proportion, ways and means. One of the things I want to point out the congressman said while he was going through things was he talked to the Ways and Means chair, Jason Smith, about this bill, especially that tax component and that pay for. In Congress, both sides are always looking for some sort of pay for. So that does make things a lot more appealing to any legislation that may move between now and the end of the year. But what you also heard him say is he's doing a lot of coalition building in the background, meaning that he's going to ranking members as well as Chairman Guthrie of Energy and Commerce, who will have the majority of oversight of this bill, is also from Kentucky, right? Subcommittee chair of HHS, Morgan Griffith, the congressman's also been in touch with him. So a lot of this is building coalitions of members, letting them know the importance, talking to both sides of the aisle, talking to both chambers, talking to the White House. That's another reason, and I know we really want to get this out because we know every day is a day closer to the deadline. And so we're trying to do it. But I also think the one thing that the congressman kind of didn't mention, but he alluded to it, is you only get one rollout, right? So when we roll this out, it has to be right? It can't be holes, and the more members of Congress in a bipartisan fashion, in a bicameral fashion that we can bring into the rollout, the more momentum we'll continue to have. So just wanted to put that out there. Brian, I'll let you grab the next question.
All right. And then just to add to that too, the other piece to this puzzle that we're also working through is we are working with Congressman Barr's team to identify who's going to be the companion on the Senate side. So I would anticipate some news to be had on that probably next week. But there are a number of folks that are circling around an early draft that's being worked on that is very similar to Congressman Barr's bill. And I would anticipate to see some movement on the Senate side as well over the course of the next week to 2 weeks. So that's the other update to throw in to the masses. So let's dive into questions.
Right. Can you, Franz Tudor writes, to the congressman, but he's left, so I'm gonna take it up. Can you use the tax side to attach to reconciliation? The congressman alluded to it, that is an avenue. I will continue to say that I think we really want to push a bipartisan bill, but if reconciliation instructions are being written on the House side, And then again, guys, we can go through the bird bath and the parliamentarian and the Senate side, but that's where everything really goes through the bird bath. It has a chance, but it's going to be at the ruling of the parliamentarian. But the congressman did allude to it, that this is an avenue that opens itself up with that tax component.
Comment from Scott Noruzzi. Make basic CBD flower safe to sell, please. That is the goal with this bill, my friend. That is the goal. Which aspects of this bill do you feel the White House and Congress, and this comes from Angus Rittenberg, which aspects of this bill do you feel the White House and Congress are likely to be most excited about? Agriculture wellness / CMS, beverage under TTB with tax. I would say yes, all of the above. I know for the White House, one of the biggest pieces that's going to help get accomplished in one of President Trump's executive orders was protecting and saving the hemp industry, but also establishing a really functional CMS program. And that is something that I know the White House is very concerned with. I also know that a lot of members of Congress want to make sure that this is a legitimized industry and it has the proper protections such as 21 plus, no marketing to kids. That aspect needs to get covered, which it is absolutely going to get covered and fixed in this bill.
I'm going to go with Josh with CDXX dispensary. Again, this was while the congressman was on. Can you touch base on the extension as it currently sits? I know the congressman has been in touch with Congressman Baird. Congressman Baird, along with Congressman Ranking Member Craig, have the extension bill. They are continually talking. They're also talking to, again, Subcommittee Chairman Morgan Griffith and Ranking Member Mike Vesey from Texas about how they move forward in a 1-2 punch, if that makes sense. Whereas members of Congress, again, I say this almost every week, they asked us after the fly-in to have some sort of regulatory bill, right? Members want to go through that regulatory bill, potentially mark it up, potentially have hearings. Chairman Griffith has been open to that happening. But Chairman Griffith has always said, we need more time. I'm for the extension because we need more time to hold these hearings and do everything possible. So I think, the two are moving together, almost parallel with each other. So I think we're giving members of Congress what they've been asking for. And if we run out of time, as in they can't get this marked up, sent to the Senate, or it doesn't go in reconciliation, I think that's when we also push the extension. So it's a 1-2 punch.
How do we build a coalition in Congress to get this done? Well, Congress, and this question comes from Todd Hunter. Thank you, Todd. The congressman answered that a little bit ago, but I think it's important to restate. We have to continue to visit your members of Congress. If you have everyone has a congressional member in their backyard, but I'd highly recommend you guys go at the local level, go to the local congressional office in your state to go visit with the staff there. Let your story be told. But separately, we as industry need to continue to build a coalition of like-minded individuals and folks that want to see the protections of established for the hemp industry, and they want to continue to sell products. I know a really good company, Total Wine. I mean, they've been great advocates for the hemp industry and hemp beverages. So those are similar coalition partners to folks like Total Wine, and similar, we need to continue to work with and build those inroads and, work together on getting this done.
I'm going to go with Chris with Zoe Therapeutics. How many co-sponsors do we have and how many do we need to get some real traction to get this across the finish line? We are working on original co-sponsors. There's a nice number. It's also getting the right members to be original co-sponsors. We feel comfortable where we are at currently. How many do we need to get some traction? The good thing is there's been conversations with chairman and subcommittee chairman and ranking members of those committees. There's also been conversations with the White House and certain committees, and then on the bipartisan level. So we want as many people as possible. If I can be honest, we want 535 members of Congress signed on as co-sponsors, 435 in the House, 100 in the Senate. But I don't know if we're going to reach that, but we should be striving. So what we're going to do is, again, Hifa's not going to get in front of the congressman. Once he introduces the bill with those co-sponsors, we will make sure we send it around to you guys. And then we'll ask you a simple question. Is your guy on it? Is your congresswoman on it? And if not, that's where we continue to build that momentum.
All right. I think we got time for one or two more questions. And just so everybody knows, we're going to, moving forward, we're going to continue doing these calls. We're going to be moving from Friday to Thursday at 4 p.m. So we're going to be moving the weekly Hifa calls from Fridays to now Thursdays at 4 p.m. From Karen Horton, I have a severely damaged back and I use cannabis to relieve my pain as I will not take narcotics. Will we lose access? Short answer is after November, there's a high likelihood if we do not get Congressman Barr's bill that he's going to introduce passed into law, or if we don't end up getting an extension, you will likely lose access to the products that you need. So Karen, that's why it's really important for your voice to be heard. You need to communicate with your member of Congress. We have CTAs available on our website where you can sign up and send an email over to your local member of Congress. I will drop a link in the chat for everybody for our CTAs so you guys know what to, so you guys can send out our calls to action to members of Congress. So, yes, let me drop that in. Dwayne, you want to take the next one and then we'll wrap up?
It's a combination. Green Essential naturally, if this bill is passed, will the federal bill supersede the states and their regulations? I do not want to speak for the congressman. I think I can say that, he hit on it a couple of times, federalism. Everything kicks back to the states. What the states have passed can supersede it. In the case, it can supersede the federal bill. Again, he's not introduced it yet. Things can change before the introduction. As soon as we know, we'll definitely let you know. Can Congressman Barr give us a bit of a rundown on the timing of introduction of the bill and how quickly it might be able to move? Again, you kind of saw him saying he wants to get it right. Brian alluded to maybe a week. I kind of concur with that. I think it's going to be within the next week. And I would also say what happens then. What happens then is we got to get the co-sponsors up, right? And then we're going to do little things in DC to continue that momentum. The congressman will be speaking at certain events with certain caucuses. He'll rely on his allies and coalition partners, like hopefully Ranking Member Angie Craig, to talk to her colleagues. We work to have a companion introduced in the Senate. That hopefully is going to happen a couple weeks after. So that's the momentum carrying. And then we're starting to look at packages that are going to move between now and the end of the year, or now in November, that we may be able to attach this to. I'm giving you a ton of what ifs because I can be very honest with you. When I tell you how this town works, it'll do a 180 on me. So, but we want to give you guys as much information as possible and as many avenues as possible. And then, let the passion take over and build up these co-sponsors.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dwayne. Thank you, everybody, for hopping on. We're going to be moving these calls to every Thursday now at 4 p.m. So stay tuned. We'll be sending an email out immediately after this call so you guys can sign up and continue to join us for these update calls. And I would anticipate more news coming soon. So that being said, hey, everyone, have a great rest of your week. Thank you for taking time out of your day to hop on today's call. And again, please contribute. We got to continue paying for the lobby team that we have. As everyone may have heard in the past, we're the only association that has a full-blown team of lobbyists that is working both Republicans, Democrats in the House and the Senate. Our team is incredibly well plugged in, and we need to keep them moving because we are at that critical juncture. So please continue to join us on these calls, and please make a contribution and join the team at Hifa. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one, guys.